Coming to get you, Barbara.
The Fear Central Radio Show. Warning, our content may include spoilers and is intended for mature audiences.
Hey, fellow horror fans, welcome to the Fear Central Radio Show. I am your host, Mike, and are you mimicking me again?
It's just like...
Was it Paul mimicking me again?
I am not a mimic you.
No mimic?
I am not a mimic you.
By the way, joining me this week, I've got...
Chris.
Mimic you.
Katie. Morpheus.
All right, so...
I'm Morpheus today, just so you know.
Morpheus, yes.
One of these.
Oh, are we going by our
What's up, Barry?
superpower names? Oh, okay then.
I'm Spider-Man.
I'm the Borg Queen then.
Oh, there you
Oh, wait,
go.
I can't remember my name.
None.
Silly.
Oh, I am the... Oh, yes.
None of your business.
You're the nun,
That makes
honey.
you Pyramid Head.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
I'm Demon Mommy. Sorry.
You saying I have a pointy
Stop.
head? Is that what that nickname's about?
Very pointy.
I am violent.
So this week, we are talking about a new film that came out on Netflix a few days ago, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
About a week.
About a week.
I thought.
Yeah. On the first.
Did it? Okay.
Yes.
On the 1st?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
well.
2 weeks.
Okay.
The
Almost
calendar
2
says.
weeks.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks. Yeah. So Velvet Buzzsaw this week.
Yes. From Dan Gilroy.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know about it, this is a movie that is after a series of paintings by an unknown artist are discovered, a supernatural force enacts revenge on those who have allowed their greed to get in the way of their art.
I had no idea about any of that before I started watching this movie.
No?
Really?
Not at
Nope,
all?
I had no idea it was a supernatural movie.
I got to watch like clips of it before it got released, and I was like, "Ooh, okay." So Night Gallery needs greed.
Who was Rod Serling then?
Yeah.
Maybe the guy who painted him.
Oh, the dead guy.
The dead guy. This is
I
going to
loved
be...
his performance. His performance was great.
This
Or
is-
better yet, it could have been the robot that says, "I'm going to save you all."
Yeah.
I mean,
I could save you.
I can save you. Would you like some more?
This has got to be one of the most piss poor taglines I've ever seen
What is it?
from the writer and director of Nightcrawler.
That's a good tagline.
Yeah, that's a good
That's what got me to watch
It
it.
really makes me not know anything about the film, though. Like
Exactly,
a tagline is supposed to
exactly.
do.
It was probably a
Well,
good
this one
idea.
says, all art is dangerous.
Oh,
Oh,
all art.
Wait,
I could get behind that.
except this art is more dangerous.
More,
So yeah,
Well,
morph.
Morph. Yes, that would be Jake Gyllenhaal's
Yes.
character name.
So
in
this actually has a pretty good cast in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got Jake Gyllenhaal, Renee Russo,
Toni Collette,
Toni Collette, Tom Sturridge,
Natalia Dyer from Stranger Things.
We can stop there.
John Malkovich,
After John Malkovich.
Malkovich.
Malkovich, Zawe Ashton.
No.
Yes, the star.
No. No. Just no.
The Borg Queen is all assimilate her.
We will not
We don't
assimilate
want
her.
that.
No,
We
I don't
will
want
just
that.
kill her.
Yeah.
Your
just-
technology is not good enough for
Nope.
assimilation. Billy Magnuson,
who looked very familiar. Oh, that's right. He was the other prince from Into the Woods.
yeah.
Rapunzel's prince.
David
Oh,
Diggs,
yeah.
David Diggs
Diggs.
from Hamilton.
yeah,
Freaking Thomas Jefferson, man. Yeah.
yeah.
And you could hear it.
And
in his voice.
suddenly-
the Marquis de Lafayette. Yeah.
And now suddenly
Oh.
she switched
She's
gears.
alive.
She's alive now. She's alive.
Has
Hey.
your brain been replaced by Hamilton lyrics?
Only sometimes.
Oui, mon ami.
Oui, mon ami.
Je m'appelle Lafayette.
Interesting bit of trivia. I got my DNA back. I'm related to Alexander Hamilton by
So
DNA.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Thomas Jefferson
Neat.
Wow.
and Abraham Lincoln and King Tut.
Okay.
And Genghis Khan.
And Ramses
Well,
II.
everybody's related to Genghis Khan, so.
Well, yeah, he's
That
kind of a whore.
Invaded everyone.
Yeah.
That was a hell of an orgy.
Caligula has nothing on him.
So, IMDb classifies this as a horror mystery thriller.
Thriller?
Thriller?
It's a thriller.
I don't
There's
want Michael
three of
Jackson
them.
suing me for
It's a
saying
thriller.
thriller.
Yeah, and everybody else says it's a satire.
Yeah. So Jake Gyllenhaal's character in this he's like the
Art
Art
critic.
critic.
super art critic because everybody hangs on his word.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Rene
God,
Russo's
is
character
the
actually makes comment that he is art god.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So the premise of the film, since the synopsis really wasn't all that great, is what was her name? Zoe.
Zoe.
Is an assistant to museum curator Rene Russo's character.
Well, she's a gallery curator.
Yeah.
She's just trying to accumulate art.
Well,
Yeah.
So she can sell it.
She makes the comment that you're my protege or whatever. You're supposed to learn, and now you're trying to go ahead. But anyway, someone in her building dies.
Yeah.
Found out that
I like the way that scene was done. That
the
was a
scene
good
was
scene.
done pretty
Yeah.
well.
It really was.
She finds out that the person has no family or anything, and has been instructed to destroy everything in his apartment.
The order for destruction didn't happen. It isn't revealed until later.
No,
it was really
no. When
close.
she comes up and they're talking, and they're standing together, and
She
they're
has
talking
They
about
act
the guy.
like
and
it's
he
a
said
surprise
we're-
whenever they say it later on.
Well, they do say it later on, but it's
And
right
somebody
after the
acts like
police
it's a
and stuff show
surprise.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she knows. This is before she even goes up to the apartment. She
Yeah.
finds
Yeah.
out that they're going to destroy everything.
Yeah, because
and she goes up.
somebody makes a comment that they're gonna. The order is to destroy everything in the apartment, and he was some kind of artist or something.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Well, I think he had a cat." And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go and look for that later."
Yeah.
So she goes to look for the cat and finds the art and takes
Yeah.
both. So
And in doing so, this art is evidently everybody wants a piece of it. And
It's a wide variety of different styles, and she brings it in to Morph Gyllenhaal to look at.
Right.
And he immediately says that it's revelatory.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah.
Dees.
So then everybody wants to get their hands on it, but in
Everybody
doing
wants
so,
everybody wants to get
Dees.
their hands on a Dees.
a Dees.
On Dees.
You want you want some of
Dees
these?
You want some of Dees? Everybody wants some of Dees.
Everybody wants some of these.
That's his name.
So anyway, since everybody wants some of these, the paintings
For
are
any
evidently
high school boys listening, I'll just go ahead and say D's nuts. There you go.
But anyway, the paintings evidently has some kind of supernatural ability and starts offing people in various different ways.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about 40 minutes in.
Yeah. So someone explained to me. I didn't quite. I think I was in the middle of working on laundry at the time. There was the scene
Half-
where they
half
had
the-
the
half of your
art
movie-
cleaners or whatever looking at them, and it started bleeding or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was taking a piece of the paint off, and when she did, she took it to look under the microscope to see what medium they were using. And when they pan back to the picture, it's like the lip is bleeding.
Right. I remember seeing the blood on the painting.
Because he used all forms of medium, and they couldn't even describe all the things that he used.
Excrement.
well, they used him himself
Yeah.
was the big thing. Like he
Yeah.
he used his blood in the blacks to get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
redness to his blacks, and
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were saying, he really put himself
He
into these
imbued
paintings.
himself in
and it
his
wasn't
art.
just his whole soul and emotion; it was him.
Him.
So,
physically.
yeah. But there was a wide variety of the paintings.
Yeah.
A lot of them had to do with a bad childhood he had, how he
Yes.
struggled.
Yeah.
And then there were some that were not. It was,
There's a beach scene.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
if
nice
you look
beach
at that
scene.
beach scene,
It's very
it's
sad.
disturbing because the little boy
Wonder if
is
anybody's
starving.
put out any of the pictures.
and-
The portrait of the
Like-
two kids was the most disturbing of all of them to me.
I thought the monkeys was. I mean,
with the person in the
monkeys working on the
holding
truck.
them in the middle,
I'm
or
just
Yeah, that
teasing.
was-
I'm just kidding. That wasn't even one of these.
none of those.
Nope.
Nope.
So,
That's the first death.
are you talking about the one where there's the two kids and then the guy's
One's in like a chair and the other one's standing behind it? Is it?
Oh.
It was like one of the last paintings they showed.
Is it like
I don't remember that
there was
one.
like a guy in the middle of him holding him by arms or
Oh
something?
yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, the one that was disturbing for me is the one where the little girl was screaming, but she's not like completely like, not all of her features are like fully etched out,
Well,
but she has like lots of color to her. Like in
What?
every, what would be her features are filled with color. So she is like oversaturated. And so you can see every part of her expression, but you can't see her.
Okay,
It's disturbing.
that's kind of cool.
It was really cool, but it's very disturbing. So, but all of these are reminiscent of other artists. Like, I mean, they're done that way because they want us to look for those artists. Like in reality,
To relate with them, yeah.
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 But
But all in all, this film is pretty much just all about greed and contempt and
It's an
everything
old
that-
movie.
yeah, to really go through the whole art lifestyle and
It sort of is, but it's so surface level to me. Because it's from the guy who did Nightcrawler. I'm like, oh, it's a new satire from the guy who did Nightcrawler. I'm like, ooh, okay, what's he got to say? Oh, the art world capitalizes on death. Okay, I saw sitcoms about that.
not just
Yeah.
death though. Like it capitalizes on the helpless.
Yeah,
It
Okay,
also
let's be real.
capitalizes
It
on
capitalizes on everything.
Yeah.
It
including
capitalizes
itself.
on itself, yeah, to cannibalize itself is
Yeah.
what it does. And I mean that's the ultimate. It's like it's destructive of itself, like
It's
because
a ver-
all of those people, you because even the artists were like very they were disturbed by what they saw whenever they looked at Deese's work, and I kind of was waiting for it to be like a pushing the artist to do stuff to go and commit mass murder or something like that, but that never happened. It actually did like supernaturally kill people, like
Yeah.
that. Just so
And
that's not quite what I was
kind of a
expecting.
monkey's paw vibe.
I have noticed looking around there is a myriad of different reviews
Yes.
and various takes on this film.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Bloomberg says what?
Velvet Buzzsaw's review, an oddly optimistic film about deadly art.
How optimistic?
I mean,
Nice.
It is in the end.
Well, yeah.
It is.
Malkovich.
Yeah,
Malkovich.
it's true.
No,
Because he's just
Well, his isn't deadly though. He's making
He's
trails in the sand.
he's
like
free painting
it's
in the
supposed
sand.
to be his creativity coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that everybody's gone and dead. And,
This is the one that got me.
see, I've been trying to find some of the paintings. I wish they would
Yeah.
release them all so you could see them.
Oh, I know I know what that is.
oh, based on something you know.
Oh yeah.
Okay, which artist?
Uh,
Sorry, I put you on the spot.
Come on now.
Goeth.
Go. Oh,
I think.
you can go Renaissance.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
it
he's
is
going
Renaissance
F.
paint.
I just heard him.
I could see that.
Yes.
He went go
In a way.
F.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little more raw.
For a little while, and this is going to immediately put me in the wrong. This is going to immediately pit me as the pretentious person in the guitar group. But for a little while, I collected art books.
No.
How does that make you pretentious?
I don't know.
I spent
There's
a lot.
nothing wrong with that. We have art
I
books.
spent many hours in art school in the DMA, just
But,
randomly wandering through.
Okay, well, this is probably going to be what it is. So I had a 2-book collection
And you were
by the
correct.
author Umberto Eco. He had one called On Beauty, and the other one was On Ugliness.
That's
And-
why you had 2 books. There was an echo.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's the guy who wrote The Name of the Rose. Anyways, like On Ugliness was all about disturbing and graphic and dark stuff and how it can be beautiful if it's framed the right way.
Who did you say it reminded you of?
Goeth, I thought.
Goya?
Uh,
It says that one's based on 18th century Spanish artist Francisco de Goya.
Goya.
Okay.
Okay.
You just got the
I just mixed the guys up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, looky there.
Looky there. Anyway, you had two books.
I
One
mean,
was
that's
ugly,
full on,
and
almost
it was
identical.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was the image.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
just the top part.
yeah, it's very similar.
If any of you don't know what we're talking about, there's a picture of it's almost like an old man, a giant kind of,
Yeah,
Yeah, and over
devouring
like, eating the
a
youth.
naked small thing, like person.
It's
thing.
supposed to be a person. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
the old devouring the young.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, that's the thing. Is like these paintings they're unnerving, but they're all designed to be like seen as beautiful. Like
Right.
it like even though it's unnerving, every single character in the movie they automatically see talent in it.
Like
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not just that. It seems like for like anybody who likes art, it's you find something that you're drawn to, and they all seem to be drawn to different ones. You know, there was the one of the beach scene that Katie was talking about, and that's in Jake Gyllenhaal's bedroom,
Yeah.
and that's the one he was drawn to. You know, and it's like art is meant to draw you in. Now, some art you're going, what the hell is that?
What was the one that Zawe had on her?
This one with the hands reaching towards you. You remember?
Yeah.
Like it was.
Yeah.
There were like
Yeah,
feet,
'cause
and then
David-
it was
'cause
hands
David
reaching
Diggs is
down.
just staring
but it's
at it and going out of
fragmented,
his
like
mind.
like a Picasso.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's cubist. So, but yeah. But yeah.
So, talk a little bit about the opening of this movie.
yes.
We get 20 minutes of art world soap opera.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And I think it was supposed to be able to draw you into the art world because they go through a variety of different displays throughout the gallery of different styles of art, types of art, such as the animatronic robot.
Yeah.
Just so you know, the guy that played the animatronic robot is the same guy that played the monster in the first season of Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Just a little
Nice.
pieces of information.
Well,
So-
they had her there, so might as well have him too.
Right?
So let's talk about her. Did you think that she was going to have anything to do with the plot at any point?
Kinda.
She works for everybody in the
She
movie.
finds
Yeah.
two of
And
the
it-
bodies.
and I'm just
like
Is she gonna be important to this story? At
She
any
really
point?
wasn't.
She really wasn't.
She really wasn't.
She was like that little side character. They're like, oh,
for those
she's
who
late.
don't
Go
know,
sit at
we're
my
talking
desk and
about
take
She got
calls.
to
Natasha
scream a
Dyer's.
few times.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
that was.
Natasha
Yeah.
Dreyer, something.
Natalia Dyer, I think is her name.
Whatever. Close enough.
I
Sorry,
like her.
people.
Like I think she's
No,
a
I
good
did.
actress.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but she really was not a super integral part except for finding all the bodies.
Yeah.
Right.
And she found 3.
And, being the hurt intern. Like, that's, oh, poor her. Her parents can't. She's gonna have to go home to Minnesota. Or what was it? Michigan.
Michigan.
She's gonna have to go home to Michigan.
Oh my goodness. How could you?
Yeah, I have. Paul and I have had this argument since the day we got together that I do not believe in. I don't believe in people being able to just float through life, and
But we all float down here.
I'm reading that actually,
Listening to it.
listening to it.
Stephen Weber
You're
is
very
reading
welcome.
it.
I'm 8 hours from finishing that book. Actually,
You'll do it again. I restarted it again.
And again and
37
again and
hours
again.
in.
I am 37 hours into that book. So.
It's like 43 hours long.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
it's
Huge.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I've listened to it about
I got to the point.
8 times.
I got to the point where Bill
That's a lot of
and Bev have sex, and I was like, I'm out for a bit. Like, I can't do that. So.
I'm gonna have to.
I can't do cheating. Like, can't do it at all in my in my main characters.
Well, I guess you get to see James McAvoy and Jessica Chastain do it in the movie.
Yeah.
Not so sure I'm gonna be
And
into
there
that.
she's like, eh.
But okay, so yeah. So Paul and I had this argument since the very since I have no use for the art world. I have no use for art because I believe that modern art has gotten so far away from what is what can be seen as worth that one can like derive meaning from, because I believe that art should have meaning.
I buy what I like.
I mean,
I'm one of those. I walk in, hey, I kind of like that painting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
get
gonna
that
get
one.
that,
Yeah, no, I'm not a big art connoisseur myself, but I did spend tons of time in an art museums.
Yeah, but like you also don't look at like, you know, two pieces of metals, you know, like screwdrive together, and
that's a little
supposed
different
to, like,
because that's what I do
mean
every
something.
single day.
she
Look
looks
at
at two pieces of
Yeah,
metal
but
all
like
day long.
you don't look at it and like suddenly I'm able to divine what the artist meant by like
look,
by putting those two
These
things
two
together.
things are sticking out.
So you
here.
didn't like the wind
And one
art
is-
and Twister?
No.
and one is sadness. And
Yeah.
the
That
other
one's
one is
sadness.
an apple.
Yes,
I don't know how those two things.
yeah.
Just,
because if you have no apple, it's very sad.
what if you don't like apples?
Then you're sad.
So how do you feel about art?
I'm kind of like Heather. It's gotta
I mean,
speak to me.
You're more of a Geiger person.
I do like
so-
Giger, yes.
Earth Machine is a great painting.
Yeah, I mean,
Or sketch. Or
Species,
whatever.
such a great
Yeah.
piece of
Yes.
art.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess as a filmmaker, my art is more the moving image as opposed to just a painting or a drawing. But then again, I have an immense amount of respect for artists in that sense, because without a great storyboardist, you can't line up your scenes. I mean, it's
Right.
And we were talking about this today. I'm really kind of a neo-modern kind of person. I like the plain, simple, sleek. Like she pointed out, we were looking at furniture today. She goes, "Ooh, what about that chandelier?" And it was a little chandelier that, you know, lights on top, opposite of this one above us. And then we scroll down a little bit, and there's like this twisted knot of metal. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's really cool. And then I read the description. I was like, oh, it's got LEDs. That's a chandelier. I like that one.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not a chandelier. That's metal twisted.
Yeah.
So
Twisted Metal.
I like
but
twisted
see,
metal.
I'm more
a great game. It's
gothic
kinda like heavy metal,
Renaissance,
but-
so
Yeah.
And see, I love Impressionists.
I do love Impressionists. One of my favorite paintings is water
Like Rich Little?
I love water lilies.
and the Japanese bridge, and we lost everything.
yeah.
There we go.
So, anyways, it was water lilies and the Japanese bridge, and those are two of my favorite. But then I also like Olivia, which is more pinup and post-war.
You like Boris as well?
I do actually. Boris Vallejo is one of the ones that got me started.
Yeah.
My favorite painting
I'm a
is,
Frazetta guy.
is
I'm a
the girl with
Frazetta
the pearl
guy.
earring. That's my favorite.
Oh,
Which one?
I
This one?
love that. It's the Renaissance where the
Yes.
Yeah, that one's beautiful.
Or I can get into like the Scream.
Okay.
Okay.
See, to me, it's overrated.
Well, what they've done with it over time, yes, but the painting in itself,
What is it? Edmund Munch? Is
I
that
think
the
so,
artist?
Yeah.
Something like that.
just his style is just kind of. I like the unique and the out there and the non
I
common. You know, I can look at a field of flowers from 15 different artists and be like, they're fields of flowers.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm into surrealism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Like, I want an
also
ultra modern house with ultra modern furniture and
he likes pop surrealism, right? That's
Pop
So you're,
surrealism,
like,
like
into
artists like
Warhol.
Mark
Ryden and Isabel Garcia.
We would have Saint Barbie like hanging in our house.
I
Saint
haven't
Barbie
seen
is
that one.
amazing.
Saint Barbie is wonderful.
It's a like it's done in the style of kind of like Catholic revelatory art, but it's got a little girl in like a baby blue jumper with a single tear rolling down her eye, and Barbie parting the clouds, just the doll, like with like the sun bathing down on the girl as she's praying to her.
I've got to
She's
see this.
praying to Barbie. It's Mark Ryden's great. It's
He's
commentary
insane.
on our current society, and it's great. But it's not over. You know what I mean? And it's
Not
well
overkill.
done. Yeah,
That's it.
there it is. There's Saint Barbie.
Saint Barbie.
It's actually Lady of the Guadalupe, isn't it? That's the style that is.
That's pretty much, yeah.
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 Yeah, he's very eccentric.
He
One
is.
of his first shows was called The Meat Show, and it's just like cuts of meat in every single painting. And,
Nice.
and he's obsessed with Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
Yep.
there you
Lincoln's
go.
everywhere.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, but instead we have
James Jean.
James Jean in our house.
which is tied greatly into this movie because I love James Jean, but most people would know him for the corporate art he does. If
Yeah.
you've ever
Okay.
seen the Shape of Water poster, like the sketched one with her embracing
I
the creature,
think I've seen that one. Yeah.
that's his.
Okay.
The poster for Mother where it's Jennifer Lawrence with her heart cut out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the one that's painted or
Yeah.
whatever. That's him too.
And
Oil
it's
painting.
very hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's James Jean.
It's very
We
hard to
kind of
find.
got off a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about
Well,
art.
it's art.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
Yeah.
which is what this film's about.
Yeah. But yeah, like most people would know his stuff because he does corporate stuff for like major chains like Macy's and stuff like that.
I was say because it's very hard to find actual artists now for movie posters.
Yeah.
Usually, it's all photoshopped, Illustrator kind of.
Oh, back in the day, they used to have amazing stuff.
Yeah.
The poster for Vacation is a work of art.
Yeah,
Like,
but they used to have people that would actually hand paint those, and then they would copy those
Yeah,
into for the theaters,
yeah, and we
which
just,
is what Thomas Jane's character in The Mist
is doing.
is
Yeah.
he's hand painting
Yeah.
movie trailer posters or movie posters.
Or was it book covers?
No, it was movie posters.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because he made the comment that he has trouble selling them more and more to the studios.
Okay. Yeah.
We always
Oh.
come around to The Mist somehow. I don't know.
It always kind of comes back to that, doesn't it?
I know how I confused it because he was doing basically one of the Dark Tower covers.
Yeah.
That's what he was painting.
Interestingly enough, I think the cast that they pulled for this film worked well together. They all seem to have a good flow
Yeah.
with each other.
Gyllenhaal was great.
Especially Gyllenhaal and
Gyllenhaal's
Russo
always great.
after Nightcrawler. Them two working together.
Yeah. He doesn't have as much to work with in this movie as he did in Nightcrawler. Though.
No.
That's true.
Nightcrawler's performance is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's such a versatile actor too.
He is.
Because you could do Nightcrawler, and you got October Sky that he did years ago, and then he did Life, which is completely different.
The first movie that spoke to me that with how good an actor he was was Zodiac.
Yes.
But then we went and saw Prisoners at the theater.
Yeah.
And, considering what the plot is, Hugh Jackman's daughter's abducted, and he's
Right.
having to go to the brink and everything. Gyllenhaal just plays the detective, but he acted circles around Jackman in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
He did.
I didn't expect that from that character at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want
Gyllenhaal
to talk
was
about
awesome.
your favorite character?
No.
Her performance was all right.
Her name's Zawe Ashton, and her performance was not okay. She was whiny, and
The
she was
character is, though.
fine. The character is that way.
Yeah.
Find another way to
Okay,
portray her because it's annoying.
Maybe that's the way the character was written.
Okay.
Did you gotta
Figure
play
out
the
another
driver?
way to do it. Don't make everybody watch that.
Well, I mean, I'm trying
I
to.
hated the way she curled her lip up every
Well,
time she
so
talked. That pissed me off.
So this movie's a greed allegory. You're not really, if you watch any movie where it's a greed allegory, you're going to get to points where the characters are just going to reach that threshold and they're going to go too far.
Yeah,
and the
but
audience,
she did it at the beginning. Not only was she too greedy from the beginning, she was also poor me from the beginning.
Oh, well, she's the entry point into the whole capitalism of art idea.
Still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she immediately
She is.
exploits the death of her neighbor. Like immediately.
Yeah, she's supposed to be
really-
the epitome of what the
She's supposed to be, but Russo's worse.
So we didn't touch on this. This was the most interesting thing to me about all these characters.
Sorry,
So-
I just got groped.
Gyllenhaal plays an
by
art.
Gyllenhaal.
Man, Katie, keep your hands to yourself.
So Gyllenhaal plays an art critic.
Yes.
Anytime I've ever seen a critic in any of these types of movies, the critic's always pretentious,
Yeah.
kind of up their own ass,
Right.
Just villainous, almost.
Yes, almost. Yeah,
And
but he didn't.
no, he's actually one of the more identifiable characters throughout this entire movie.
It's true.
and like especially with him being called the art god or whatever.
Yeah.
you expect him to be just vain beyond redemption,
Right. Right.
and it gets to, especially as the movie goes along and it gets towards the end, like he's the most identifiable for the audience.
And there's always the stereotype, even in I guess the artist community, that even the artists themselves are that pretentious. So you can imagine their critics are going to be even more so.
What is it? Peter O'Toole says in Ratatouille, the critic risks nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Beetlejuice.
Right.
Pinterest.
Pinterest.
Beetlejuice? Pinterest?
Penetration. What? We're playing charades now.
Benadryl.
Benadryl.
Benadryl in the cabinet.
Beetlejuice.
That's what she said.
Well, there is some pretty weird art in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's a burden.
It's just burden.
It becomes
On a
very
good
useful,
day.
when
Yeah.
he grabs them at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we? We were here. Okay.
Art.
Heart.
Yeah.
Heart.
Art.
Well,
But I think
you've seen some of my older stuff, so
I don't paint and I
Not
don't
you.
draw. I food. Food
I've
is my
seen you
art.
paint
And
with your Grinch out there. Look very good.
I don't paint.
How interesting is that Natalia Dyer's IMDb page has an Eggo commercial?
Nice.
I guess going back to her, her character was really nothing.
No.
And for those of you that don't know her by name,
She keeps getting fired, and then her boss dies. And
Yeah.
then she gets to go get another
She's the
job.
poor me character. She's
She
the
is.
poor intern.
is she supposed to be? She's supposed to be that. Oh,
Not
this is the
annoyingly
real
so.
world person.
Yeah. Bull.
Amongst all the artistes.
Fartsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still trying to be an artist, like trying to be in the art world. So she is one of them.
Yeah,
like,
she wants to
one
be.
of
She
us.
wants to be.
What?
But she's
There's not an
the
us
little
there.
girl from Minnesota or whatever. But for those of you that aren't familiar with actors and actresses' names, we mentioned she was in Stranger Things. She's the one that plays Nancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just for those of you that are like, Natalia, who?
It's not Barb.
No,
No,
not Barb.
It's Barb's best friend.
Hashtag save Barb.
Safe Barb.
Yep.
Barb.
Yeah, we didn't get to in season 2,
Too
did
late.
we?
And they killed Bob. Damn it!
Right?
I know.
Hashtag
Why did they do that?
Barb and Bob.
Yep.
Those B names, they'll get you every time.
They should get married in season 3.
There you go. Baby.
How the fuck would that even work, man?
Oh,
She's
no.
like 16. He's
I'm
like
just
45.
saying, yes.
Yeah.
Not in the upside down.
Yeah.
She's 61.
That is so wrong. Oh dear God!
Just wow.
in opposite worlds.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, impressions. What are people's... the movie as a whole, how did you feel about it?
Start over there.
Start over here?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was not what I was used to seeing. It's definitely, I mean, it plays on other movies, but it definitely had its own vibe. sort of. I don't know. I enjoyed it. That's all I got to say about that. I'm done.
Lake Forest.
About that.
Jenny.
Oh, I thought that it was very slow in lots of places. And so that had I not been doing stuff that actively, then I probably wouldn't have held my interest.
Okay.
See, I just the opposite. I
Really?
laid in bed and didn't pick up my phone the entire movie.
I was like in and out of the room and like putting away clothes and like.
She does the flight of the bumblebee.
Yeah,
Oh.
but that's
Me?
usually me.
Chris
And
usually
I was
says that
not.
when I get that way, then the movie's not that interesting.
Yeah. See, like, I normally can sit and do stuff, but, like, I had chores I needed to do anyways. I'd just gotten in. So,
what
like,
are these chores thing? We're adultish.
Which is why I didn't really watch Bird Box as
Closely?
closely as I probably should have.
right.
Because it was just like, okay.
Well, and I was not looking forward to Velvet Buzzsaw because I have the thing about the whole art thing. Like, it's pretension that I don't care
Did
for.
you expect it
It's
to
bouginess,
embrace
baby.
art?
What? I didn't know. I didn't know what it was. I kind of was half expecting it to be praising it, and I don't truck with no bougie bastards. So like,
I mean, see, I have a little different perspective because I went to art school. And
I expected it to be anti-intellectualism.
yeah, a little bit.
I really expected this movie to be anti-art, anti-intellectualism.
yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yo.
I expected it to be trying to protect it, you know, and like I burn it all
Protect the art
down.
world?
The modern art world, and as far as I'm concerned, burn it all down, and we can just start over. And
I don't understand those pictures where there's like a piece of yellow and then there's a splash of blue.
I don't either.
And
What
then
are you
there's-
supposed to get
there's a
from that
field of
shit?
White, and then there's like a dot of yellow, like, or a dot of orange. Like, what the hell? Well, this is his feelings, and this over here is sadness, and this over here is loss. And I'm like, what the hell? Who the hell pictures this shit when you're watching art? I mean, I don't walk in there going. I don't walk in there going, what the? I'm looking going, huh? He splashed some paint on there, so called it art. That's what I feel. Easy killer.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, like it's shit on a page is what it is.
They wipe their ass with a canvas.
Yeah.
I try to view it as I would any other medium, music, movies, whatever. Everybody's going to get their own interpretation.
It's
For-
like
but there's
opinions
always-
are like assholes.
This is true.
Everyone has one.
and
Yep.
some are cleaner than others. So.
But, you know, I can listen to a song and y'all can listen to a song and I can get a different meaning out of it than y'all do.
Yeah,
Same thing with a movie. You
Yeah.
know,
yeah, but words.
the film,
just
the director
tell it so
has
much.
a direction he's going with it. That this is kind of what I'm talking about, but I may interpret that a little different than anybody else. And I kind of think art, anyway, you know, your blue slash with your yellow line and your pink dot or whatever, can look.
Well,
Can have an impact on me different.
You could see it for what the artist probably wanted it to be seen
Yeah.
as. Now I look at it. I want there to be like
There's no interest there to me.
no. I want to see like faces and like
that only represents a fraction of what modern art is, though.
no.
Yeah.
I know.
No, and the
Oh,
other
no,
half
I
is
totally-
twisted metal, and the other half is like
Jesus.
shit on pages, literally. And
Wow.
Okay.
This is why we're on the table tonight.
All right,
I know, right?
historian.
Maybe we
It's
ought to
not.
separate those two.
Otherwise, the mic would be like this. Yeah, pretty much. Katie
that
gets
was
wild.
terrible. I can't do
no,
it
it's
again.
we,
Jake
we've
is
disagreed
wild.
about this since like day one.
Day one.
That's okay. You can agree to disagree.
We
That's
do.
What makes you.
I want to
And-
disagree to agree.
Yeah, right. Well, to hell with you.
Right.
I'm going to disagree with that until I agree.
Yeah.
We're done. Okay.
Nobody's ever just whelmed.
I don't know. Underwhelmed, overwhelmed,
Never just whelmed.
never just whelmed.
Paul looks very whelmed right now.
Paul looks like he needs some medication and to go to bed.
Okay, so Mr. Pretentious Artist Man. Oh,
Pretentious artist man.
Do you want me to address modern art or the movie?
His new nickname is Bam.
well, I don't think you ever finished up
Pretentious
talking about
Artist
your
Man.
books that you
Yeah, I
own.
did.
Oh, okay.
I was
'Cause you were just stopping right there with
Yeah.
one is about how
Well,
horrible
it was
beauty
about,
and-
about how ugliness can be beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Well,
if you
I
were
totally
going
agree
off
with
into
that.
the other
Yeah.
book that was the pretty book.
No,
Okay.
the pretty book was kind of boring in comparison.
Oh, okay.
Pretty's always pretty, so
Until it's not.
yeah.
But
It's
art
not
has always
always
played a pivotal part in our world.
Always.
I mean, because you look at, I just had it and now I lost it.
He looked a little constipated for a second.
Well, I mean, it was an integral part of like every religion
Yeah.
that's ever been a part. Everyone.
But it's the fact of the matter is we're dealing with a movie that talks about the capitalistic nature of art, and we are in a very capitalist society. The idea of art has been so far removed from general population.
Correct.
Like, if you say art to people, they go, "Oh, yeah, bougie, that's
Yeah.
pretentious," or anything
Right.
like that. They don't get emotion from it.
No.
They don't get anchored by it. They don't get wrapped in attention by any of it.
But honestly, though, if you took the average family to a modern art museum, would they be moved by the
Yeah, but I
standard like exhibit they went
What
through?
is standard?
There is no standard
Their
in art.
sculpture
think-
garden that they went outside.
If you're talking about what middle America thinks modern art is, no.
No.
But I think that also as society as a whole is kind of, I feel like we've been dumbed down to
We
not
have.
see the beauty in some things.
You know?
I mean,
What-
everybody has this, like, we've been, what's the word I'm looking for?
Brainwashed.
Sort of. That is kind of where I was going, to see what the idea of beautiful is.
Conformity.
There you go. But I'm a nonconformist,
Me
so
too.
I find beauty in things that are probably less beautiful than
Yeah.
most people think. So I don't know.
You know, and that's why I was explaining to her earlier about why I really like kind of the modernistic type furniture and, and houses and stuff is
Street
because
lines
it's because it's different, it's weird, it's unique, it's not typical.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's not like I'm going to run down to Walmart and get me the painting of flowers in the field and put it in my bathroom and there you go, it's pretty, it's art.
Yeah.
I prefer mirrors.
Yeah. And giant creatures during Halloween. So
I love some giant creatures.
If it's my turn to talk about what I got from the
Let's
movie,
do it.
though, not much. Like, my problem with this movie is how many different magazines and journals and everything are talking about this movie and saying that it's got like this biting satire to go for. I didn't see much of it on the screen.
no, there wasn't a whole lot of satire.
It was like whenever it got to the ghost story part of it, it felt like an Amityville movie that happened to be set in postmodern art.
Yeah.
Like,
Kind of.
I mean, when your first kill involves monkeys pulling a guy into a mirror, I'm like,
Dude,
Yeah.
that was my favorite. No.
Was that the first kill?
Yes.
Okay.
First kill.
First kill.
Because he's taking the art to the warehouse, remember? And
Oh,
he
right, right, right. The
crashes,
guy in the
and he
pickup.
goes in,
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
burnt.
Yeah.
And so he's like getting the water.
Well, he
in their
takes it to
water.
the warehouse and then he decides he's going to take it for himself.
Yeah.
pulls a Janet Leigh from
Right.
Psycho.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the most interesting kill in the film,
Which one would that be?
the hanging.
Yes.
Yes.
That was the most interesting out of all of them.
Dun,
It was
dun.
Dun,
it
dun.
seemed to be the more in depth
Dun dun.
one.
It was
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, because
well,
he's the.
it was
he-
well executed.
Very
I
well.
don't know.
I
Like,
have a theory as to why
Okay.
his is the most in depth because he is the most he is the most blatant capitalist
Yes.
of all of them. He's
Yeah.
the one who's trying to swipe clients. He's the one who's like he's all over the place trying to steal from.
He was the agent that ended up taking Malkovich's character's
Yeah.
business.
yeah, and loses because
Yeah.
Malkovich is dry.
Yeah.
like
I loved the part where he's in the giant he's upstairs in his like art area.
Yeah.
And he's like shooting hoops, and there's like two colors on a page.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's all I got."
Yeah.
I love that he adds a third one for the other the other Rodora to come in.
Yeah. It's like,
And she's like frank with him. Like, this is
the
the
hell?
start, but this is not real. Like,
Yeah.
this
What
is
the hell?
This is an art. So
Yeah.
yeah,
This is you just putting lines on a page.
yeah,
You're dry.
yeah.
But his death scene was, I think, the most unique out of all of them, because I feel that part of the film was really saying what you can get if you really get into art. Just my take on it.
It was also his death was also the most tied to the artist
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
because it was all the artifacts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pulled him in.
Yeah. Without going into too many details of it, it was an exhibition of what looked like to me someone's attic.
Yeah.
And it was just a
A
bunch
lot of luggage. And
luggage and bird cages and things you would stereotypically think of in an old attic with a movie projector as
The centerpiece.
the centerpiece of the exhibit, which also kind of threw me back to Sinister a little bit.
Yeah.
You okay there, Paul? You're double voicing.
But yeah, so it shows a home movie
Yeah,
on it,
yeah.
and but you automatically know that it's Deese's,
Yeah.
whatever, which makes it very personal all of a sudden,
Right.
and then the attic is no longer the exhibit,
Yeah.
and
And-
you're
and-
in Deese's attic,
And it kind of encloses, and then it moves on to
right?
the other, what takes place. I mean, I know we say we give spoilers and we warn about being spoilerific, but I don't think I want to give it all
We're not
away.
going to give that one away.
No,
I'm gonna give it
I don't
all
think-
Well, we
away.
really haven't talked about any of the kills.
no, we
not much.
haven't.
So we had the monkeys. We have the
attic.
hanging in the attic.
The sphere.
The sphere.
Yeah, there was a sphere, which gave me a big throwback to Flash Gordon. Paul's like, yeah, sure, okay.
The graffiti art.
Yeah,
That was my
one-
favorite.
That was an interesting one. That
That was
was
my favorite.
that
Is
was
that
the bitch's
Josephina.
death.
yeah?
So.
Okay. That was the one I thought was the most representative of the
Yes.
film. To say that greed in the art world had finally taken over and art had taken her.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and if anyone deserved it to be
Definitely.
taken like that,
Right.
it was her. So
Definitely.
What we didn't talk about
Down,
is,
girls,
is
down.
the name of the film and the reference in the film that it has. No, not that one. I'm talking about Russo's tattoo,
right,
not what we read earlier. We'll let other people figure that one out.
Look up Urban Dictionary for
Yeah.
Velvet
Right.
Buzzsaw.
Right.
If you're curious.
Yeah,
You might regret it.
but we
Yeah,
find
right.
yeah,
Heather
We won't-
regrets things all the time like that. It's like, oh, what's that? Let me look it up. Oh,
That's why they call me Fast Fingers.
Yeah.
I look up everything.
yeah.
So
But there's reference to the name of the film in a tattoo on Rene Russo's character. And it just kind of threw me the first time I saw it. I was like, okay, so...
I didn't quite understand because he missed.
Yeah, because
the
I
section where
missed
it
there was a
talked about
section
it.
that was... She was in a punk band?
Yes.
Yep.
And that was the name of her band?
That was the name of her band.
Yeah.
That's why she had Velvet Buzzsaw tattooed on her.
Yeah. There for a while, I thought she was going to be like the stereotypical horror survivor. Because it seemed like every time something happened, she dove out of the way
No,
or ducked.
I always knew it was going to be.
You did?
Yeah, the little intern that was moving around.
Mm.
She was always going to be the
survivor.
survivor. Yes.
Mm.
Horror movie. She's
Yeah.
sinless.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, yes.
Kristen didn't
Can-
get a chance to watch it yet, so she really can't voice an opinion about it yet.
How dare you not watch what we were speaking of?
Actually, I've watched most of the clips. So the clips,
The clips don't give it all away.
Okay, so
'cause
here's
there's
the
story.
thing.
She read the Cliff Notes.
To me, it's just a modern day version of Night Gallery. I mean, that's what it is. In Night Gallery, all the paintings were done, and it was based on the story, and there were multiple paintings throughout the show. And it was always representative of a killing or something. So to me, it was just a modern throwback to that. I mean, I just
There's a little more
kinda liked
feeling
it.
there.
It didn't have the anthology aspect.
Yeah.
It didn't to you.
Yeah.
I think Paul
This
swallowed a
didn't.
frog.
Yeah.
Did.
Poor Paul.
No, I mean,
No, I
Velvet
mean
Buzzsaw does
you
it.
throw. He swallowed a frog.
Was that to get the fly?
Probably. I've always been a big fan of Renee Russo, so I've, watching her in something like this is kind of cool. But yeah,
Poor Paul. He's not feeling well.
Yeah, doesn't look like it.
Poor guy.
I don't know. My take on the whole film, I thought it was interesting. It was a unique take in the film. What is that?
Tesla
table.
hit the end of the table.
Okay. I was
Tesla's taking care of the table.
gotcha.
Head.
I found it unique because it wasn't your typical
Horror movie.
horror movie.
Right.
It
was
brought
very
you into
artsy-fartsy.
a world
It
that
was.
most people don't know because what
Because
we were
they
talking
think
about earlier.
it is too pretentious.
Exactly.
Which
'cause
art doesn't have to be pretentious.
Our society is now raised to, go sports, go whatever this test says you need to learn, kind of stuff. And most schools are taking art classes out of the schools. Mm-hmm. They're taking or highly diminishing, bands and all that kind of stuff.
I
It's just
do have one piece of art that I'm very fond of.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to show you.
Okay. Is that from Hustler or no?
No. It would be Charlie circa 2017.
Okay.
It's my favorite. It's glorious.
All right. We'll have to look at that here in a little bit.
I will have to show you.
Um,
Maybe we'll put that up on the website.
Yeah.
My glorious piece of sun art.
There you go. Katie, what are we doing next week?
I don't have my planner.
I know
Oh,
what
no.
we're doing next week.
Oh my
Next
gosh.
week we're playing Horror Trivial
Is that next week?
Pursuit.
Yes, that is next
It
week.
is next week.
All right. So our first playcast of this season,
Absolutely.
we'll be doing
Horror Trivial Pursuit.
Horror
She's
Trivial
so
Pursuit.
excited.
I am so excited.
Yeah.
I saw this immediately and purchased it one click on Amazon. Buy
Yeah,
now.
she was like, "Buy now." She didn't even go add to cart.
No,
Yeah,
it was full on buy now.
They're done.
Yeah. Then in 2 days it was here, so I'm like, oh, it's here.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
So, Velvet Buzzsaw this week. If you haven't checked it out, if you like something that's going to be a little bit unique in the world of the horror genre, this might be one you want to check out. Katie's going to sneeze her head off.
Uh-huh.
So, yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay? Yay or nay?
Meh.
Oh,
Meh.
she's a meh. Okay.
Yeah.
Paul was a
Paul, were you a yay or a nay?
He's a meh.
He's a meh also. You haven't watched it yet.
hey, I'm
So-
still a yes.
Would you say yay or nay then?
Yay.
Okay. I would say if you like the non-conformist kind of film, then this would be one you might want to check out.
Yep. I agree.
Okay. All right. So don't forget to head on over to fearcentral.net. You can get access to all of our social media from there. You can also find out which player you prefer to subscribe to, whether
That's
it be
right.
iTunes or Google or whatever.
All the other little thingies.
Yeah, because we got
All
like
the other
6
tech
or
stuff.
7 of them up there that you can choose from.
Yes, we do.
We have
Ooh. Hounds of Hell.
Hounds of Hell going on here too. All right. So don't forget to check all that out. Join us next week as we play horror trivia pursuit.
We're not playing Horror Trivia Pursuit. Horror.
Horror.
I don't even want to know how you would even begin to
Yeah.
do that one.
I don't know.
It's like strip
I
monopoly or
wonder if
something.
that's
I
a
don't
thing. I'm gonna have to look that up.
know. See, she looks up everything.
Do.
Look
So-
to the interwebs.
Yeah. So don't forget to join us next week as we play Trivial Pursuit, scary style. So we will see you all again next week. And as always,
Stay scared.
Fear Central is a product of Thoughtbox Studios. For more information, visit thoughtboxstudios.com.